Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His beloved Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Alright? And I want to get into a quick lesson today, Lord willing, through the Spirit, or however the Spirit leads. Right? However the Spirit leads. Going into the defilement of the eyes, right? The defilement of the eyes and how porn destroys the soul, right? Like I said, Lord willing, however the Spirit drives this lesson to be, whether it be quick, whether it be slow, we're going to dive into it. So, through the Spirit, I think this is what it's been a lot of sexual lust going on in Israel, man. A lot of, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, secret sins, and freaking off in the middle of the night, right? Looking at things that you ought not, shaking your hand doing things that you ought not to be doing, right? And this is a device used by Satan, right, to destroy your soul, right? Ultimately, it's to entice your lust and entice your flesh. Nevertheless, right, I want to dive into a definition right fast. Go to etymology online. Alright. Looked it up before, and it says pornography, or porn, is an abbreviation of pornography. So let's look into it. It says ancient obscene painting, especially in temples of Bacchus. From French, pornography. From Greek, pornographos, one depicting prostitutes. To write, porneia, prostitute, originally bought, purchased bought or purchased. A female slave sold for prostitution. It says, more in-depth definition, it says a brothel in ancient Greek was pornion, in reference to modern works, 1859, originally French novels, later as a charge against native literature, the sense of, I'm not going to read that. It's obscene pictures, right? Also sometimes used in late 19th century for description of prostitutes, right? So this word porn, right, goes back as an abbreviation of the word pornography, right? And pornography, or porneia, it goes back into the enslavement of women that was held captive, or sex slaves for prostitution, man, right? Nevertheless, let me go get some pictures of that, because it said obscene pictures depicting prostitution, obscene things. Because when you go on these websites, right? You go on these websites or whatever. Go, man, get out of here. Slack you. You go on these websites and you go, I'm not gonna name many of them, but you know which ones out there for those that's dealing with it, or those that have dealt with it in times past, right? Hey, get out of here, man. Look, slack you, right? You know what websites those are, and what those websites that I'm talking about. These pornographic websites, they be having obscene things on there that you shouldn't be looking at, man. Like, what I'm saying? They be having not gonna go into detail, but they be having things on there that's just absurd to have on there, just obscene, just just madness, rather, right? But let's go into some images, because it said bought, purchased, a brothel in ancient Greece, a pornion. It said pornography or obscene painting, in which the time of the Romans was practiced with the grossest license, prevailed especially at no particular period in Greece. It said, but was apparently tolerated to a considerable extent at all times, right? So it said, hey, at the grossest, that's gross. They be having the most grossest things on there, man. Let's see. It said they was in the temple of Bacchus, man. Posted around the temple of Bacchus. And we all know where the temple of Bacchus was, where they held it at. They held it inside the when they just destroyed our temple, man. They put absurd things in there, man, that they ought not to do. Right? It was dealing like this. Got daggone dilly dallying with the women. Got a, who knows what the hell he was on, but that's a woman on a handstand doing God knows what, with her breast is out. Got the freaky deaky Greek man with the weird haircut just getting drunk and butt naked, Got the women in there, slaves, whores. That's what they was on in them days, man. Posting pictures like this. Painting pictures of women and men laying together. Doing things that they ought not to do, man. Yeah, see, that's crazy. That's madness. That's madness. I should have known. But you see it. Orgies and freak offs, man. Doing obscene things, man. So, these ancient brothels, or what they called porneia, were filled with female slaves. Forced into prostitution. More than likely, it was Israelite slaves. Even women that they took from other countries when the Greeks ruled, from other nations, put them into slavery. Forced them to do things that against their will that they didn't want to do, right? Just like modern pornography, it mirrors the same thing. Actors are treated like they treated like property. You know what I'm saying? They abused. A lot of the times when when these things be on there, they be having these obscene tools that they use to. And these fetishes that they be doing to these women. You know what I'm saying? Hey, even men. Right? It be a lot of stuff going on these daggone websites that ought not to be looked at, man. Because porn, the word porn or porneia goes back to the word, or porn goes back to the word, is abbreviated for pornography, which goes to that Greek word of porneia, which means prostitution. Right? Which is sex enslavement, right? These people that's on here, they're sexual slaves. They're slaves to lust. They're slaves to their own strong sexual desires, man. A lot of the times, these people don't want to do this stuff. These women don't even like this stuff. These men don't want to keep doing this, right? These things are wicked, man. It's a demon, rather. I'm not going to keep looking at this madness. I'm going to go to a precept right fast. The truth behind it, porn is built on slavery, lust, and exploitation. It's not built on no love or holiness. There's nothing holy about watching another man and a woman get it on, man. There's nothing holy or righteous about that. If anything, it's weird. It's nasty. You should be ashamed of yourself. After you're done doing what you was doing, you feel ashamed. You feel ashamed. You should feel that way. Because you did a shameful, obscene, a hideous, heinous act before the Lord. In secret. In secret off the late night with them sticky keyboards, man. Right? Let's go to the book of First John. First John chapter 2 and verse number 16. The class, I'm gonna start at verse 15. It said, "Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him." Right? It said, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world." Right? So it said the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, because when you're looking at these things, right, it put a spirit on you. It put a spirit on your flesh when you look, right? When you look, it start making your flesh start get that urge, man. You got that urge, right? You got that scratch that you're trying to itch, man. You're seeing it, you're looking at it, and then you're going to grab the tools and devices. You go look to the left, you go look to the right. Next thing you know, you're making sure everybody's gone or they're occupied, and then you look left, look right, and you close the door, lock the door, and you put your headphones on, or you keep your one headphone out, and then you grab the things, and then you start doing stuff, man. Right? It's nothing holy about that. There's no love inside of that act, man. It's a heinous act, right? Pornography, man, right? That's a sexual sin, man. That's a sexual sin, right? It's immoral. It's unseemly. It's an unseemly thing that you do, right? Nevertheless, let me get this other precept. Let's prove that. Let's go to the book of John. Let's go to the book of Matthew. All right? Because pornography equals sexual sin in the scriptures, man. All right? Let's go to Matthew chapter 5. Move this other way. Matthew chapter 5. And verse number... Go to one. Matthew chapter 5. And verse number 28. It says, "But I say unto you, whosoever looketh on a woman to lust after her, have committed adultery already with her, have committed adultery with her already in his heart." Right? So when you looking at this, you know what the hell you be doing, Jake. Hey, Eve, you looking for that, when you go on them damn websites, looking for that thing that you're enticed by, that you're attracted to, man. You're looking for that woman, looking for that a man, right? So you, Eve, right? When you go and look on these things, you're looking for things that attract you, that entice you. Right, that boosts up the lust spirit inside your flesh, man. You're looking for that type of stuff, right? That piques your interest, right? So you can go and tickle your fancy, right? When you do these things, right, you're committing adultery, man. Because now you put it in your heart, and you're starting to imagine things about this person that you see on that thing, man. On that website, man. You're starting to see things, right, that entice you, that you lust after, that you desire to have strongly. Things that attract you in ways that you ought not be attracted, right? Because you have a wife, you have a husband, or you might not be. You're watching two people get it on that commit the act of marriage. You're watching them do it. And that's wicked. And that's off. And that's immoral. That's the ideology of a daggone freaky deaky Greek, man. Or a daggone, or what are these daggone pedo Romans, man? Right? And Yahushua, he taught against that, man. You looking upon this woman, right, to lust after you already committed adultery, man. Watching this man bounce her, man. You watching the woman get bounced, man. And you put in your imagination that that's you. And you close your eyes and then you start doing things. Right? And that's off. And the Lord ain't dealing with it, man. Right? Because when you have, because porn, right? The creation of it, right? And that's who runs it. Amalek runs it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, you get enticed, right? This porn, right, was created, right, and designed to stir up your lust, man. Right? It was designed to stir up lust. It was designed to make you do these things. It was designed for it. And so when you watch it, right, watching that stuff, hey, it leads to adultery in the heart. Even though you haven't physically done the act, right? You've done it in your head, right? Like the scripture just said, right? You did it in your heart. You've done it already, right? Nevertheless, you know, pornography, it corrupts your mind. It perverts your sexuality. You know what I'm saying? And it feeds your lust, right? Now you starting to wanting to desire things that you ought not to desire when you lay down with your wife or you lay down with your husband. You want them to do other things that you may have seen on these pornography websites, man. Now you want them to daggone, hey, do you this type of way, or you want to do your wife this type of way, because you seen it on it, and the way that y'all do it is not enough. It's like you just gotta get more. It perverts you, man. You get perverted. You always rubbernecking, getting the googly eyes. You're looking at stuff that you ought not to look at, man. Right? And it just does nothing but feed your lust, right? And then you start to do that thing with the masturbation, man. The masturbation, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, masturbation, right? When you looking at these things, you start to excuse me. It's like so when you start doing these things, you're looking at pornography, porneia. You're looking at a daggone slave, right? They get exploited, man. A lot of these times that people, when you're looking at these things, a lot of the times these people they're high on drugs. That I know they're not really aware of what's happening, right? They're forced into doing certain things, right? By whether it be a way of blackmail, well, whether it be that could be they're against their will, right? They might got a pimp or something like that, right? And they're just forced to do it. And you're looking at a person that's literally, you know what I'm saying, doing something that's against the Lord, man. You're watching this, man, and they're forced against their will to do it. That's off, man. Nevertheless, and then when you watching it, you start getting that tingle in that area, man, and then you start to masturbate, man, right? And masturbation is almost always tied to lust, you know what I'm saying, porn or sexual imagination, man, right? When you start getting that, your sexual imagination starts to get aroused, right? It starts to get aroused. The next thing you know, you start lusting, right? You see something, or you get that little urge off the late night when everybody's sleeping, and you hop on that website because it's at your fingertips. You get on your phone when you're by yourself alone, and you start doing things. Start feeling and touching on yourself, man. And your imagination, your mind becomes bad. It stirs up your lust, right? And now you're starting to commit an act, of adultery. And these lustful thoughts that you have, they lead you to sin. Let me get this right fast in the book of James, the classic. There you go. James, chapter 1. Start at verse 1. And it reads, I'm going to start at verse 12. It said, "Blessed is the man that endureth temptation, for when he is tried, he shall receive the crown of life, which Yahweh have promised," right? Which Yahweh have promised to them that love him, right? Do you love the Most High, right? Do you love the Lord, or do you love this flesh? You gotta ask yourself that, man. You show you love the Lord by enduring through these temptations. You show that you love the Most High, by not doing things that you ought not to do. Right? Your flesh wants you to go and click on that website. You go to the www.something.com, and then you're clicking on stuff. Now you're scrolling and you're starting to look for something that piques your sexual imagination. You get to scrolling, but I found one. And then you find that one, then you click on the video, and then next thing you know, you're looking around, and then you're looking around. All right, you're listening, and you're looking, and you're like, oh yeah. Then you're moaning, and you're saying things, and you're in your head, you're closing your eyes, and then you're tickling your damn fancy, man. Right? Imagining you doing things that you ought not with a woman or a man that ain't yours. You lusting, committing adultery in your heart. Right? You can't do that if you love the Most High. You can't do that if you love the Lord. Because that's what it says right here. Verse 13 said, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. And that's a bold, wicked, off statement. Well, shoot, man. Well, I can't even think of no excuse, because there's no excuse for doing that. It's just outright, downright wicked. There's no excuse, or there's nothing that you can say when you do stuff like that. Because imagine if your mom or your dad or your husband or your wife busts in the room on you. Why you doing that to yourself? Then what you gonna say? You're not gonna have nothing to say. That's not of God. That's not of the Most High. That's not of the Most High. For you to be, the Most High didn't say, thou shalt watch this. I created this device for you to get your stuff. No, he never did that. That's a goddamn lie. The Lord never told, the Lord didn't make nothing for that. He didn't make sex for you to watch it. That's not what he made it for. Right? So it said, let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God. Right? For God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempted he any man. Right? The Lord ain't going to sit up here and put you in a position where you're going to fail. The Lord would never do that. The Most High never will put you in a position where, said, hey, you're gonna slip and fall in the porn. No. That's Satan. And at that time, it's just your flesh. Right, like it says right here, but every man, reading on, it said, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Right? You get tempted by your own lust, your flesh, your strong desire. You falling short when it comes to when looking at women, but yet you get on that daggone phone, you get on things and you look at things that you ought not to be looking at. and then it entices you. Start to get tempted. Starting to get tempted. You starting to lust. That lust is drawing you away. You ain't nothing but a fish, and all you see is the bait in the water. But you don't see the hook in that bait. The next thing you know, you get taken up out of here, man. Like it says right here. Then when lust hath conceived, it bringeth forth sin. And sin, when it is finished, bringeth forth death. Do not err, my beloved brethren. You're an error. You are in error when you watching pornography. You are in error when you are watching another man and another woman get it on. You are in error when you are doing things that you ought not to be doing. When it comes to these things, right? Masturbation. It's wicked. It's a device that wasn't of our custom. It was a device that the wicked have done. Taking their hand and shaking it, doing other things, man. Taking them fingers and doing things that they ought not. Twirling them in places they ought not to be twirling them at, man. Right? It's off. It's outright nasty and disgusting. Right? Let me get this precept. Because, Salaki. Because, it is the fruit, you know what I'm saying? The fruit of that porn or porneia, right? You know what I'm saying? It's a self-gratification. That's what all it is. You just want to let's look this up. What does it mean? Self-gratification. Self-gratification. See, look what it says.
Self-gratification.
Self-gratification. The indulgence or satisfaction of one's own desires. Right? The act of pleasing oneself or of satisfying one's desire. You pleasing yourself, man. See, especially the satisfying of one's own sexual urges, man. Right? It's rooted in uncleanness. Right? And it's a sick thing. Because it be some women, they do this thing and they don't think it's wrong. And they might come around the camp unclean, be touching brothers unclean, right? You know what I'm saying? After they done did some things that they ought not to be doing, man. It's rooted in uncleanness, man. It's wicked, right? Let me get this. Ephesians chapter 5. I'm going to just start at verse 1. Move this down. It said, be ye therefore followers of God as dear children. Right? It said, walk in love as Hamashiach also hath loved us and have given himself for us an offering and a sacrifice to God for a sweet smelling savor. Right? It said, but fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness, let it not be once named amongst you as becometh saints. Right? Neither, look, reading on. It said, neither filthiness, nor foolish talking, nor jesting, which are not convenient, but rather giving of thanks. Right? See, the point was right here. But fornication and uncleanness or covetousness. See, that's all three of them when you're watching porn. When you're watching when you're watching things that you ought not to be watching. You're watching a man and a woman get it on. Right? Hey, you're being covetousness, man. You're being covetous. And you're fornicating. Right? And guess what? After it all is said and done, you end up unclean, man. You end up unclean because you didn't spill stuff all over yourself, man. Now you got to go get the nasty then you're going to go wash up. Right? You got to go and throw that thing all the way in the bottom of the clothes bin. Right? Excuse me. You know, it's unclean. Because now and it brings forth covetousness, because guess what? You're imagining yourself being with a person that's not yours. You want that for yourself. And that's off. That's a sin. And we all know what the wages of sin is. It bringeth forth death. Right? Like I said, let me get another precept in the book of Galatians. Chapter 5. Classic. In verse number 16. Classic. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." See, if you're walking in the spirit, right? Meaning, hey, you're reading, hey, you're praying, you're fasting, hey, you're studying, right? You're getting exhortation, you're giving exhortation, you're confessing unto the Most High, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you confessing to the Lord, you're repenting, right? This is you walking in. This is how you trying to walk in the spirit. You're abstaining from things that's going to cause you to trip up and fall. You know what I'm saying? And you have an issue, with looking at women, man. But yet, you always try to put yourself in a position to be seen by them. You always trying to put yourself in a position to be in a woman's face. You know, sister, you have an issue. You know what I'm saying? But yet, you still got that promiscuous way about you. Whether you be single or married, right? And you're looking at things that you ought not. You got that glare in your eye. You're always just staring at men. Put your eyes into the words of the Lord, sister, brother. Put your eyes into the words of the Most High. Put your eyes on the wisdom of the ancients. Put your eyes on the foremothers and look at what they do. Right? Keep your eyes off things that you ought not. You watching these daggone so-called black daggone TV shows, and they got all they doing is just showing people freak off on the shows. And then, sister, because there be a lot of the women that be watching that and be enticed by these things. They be watching these things, and then now they, saying their husband go to work, and then they go and do some things on the phone or on the computer or on the tablet that they ought not to do. They got the sneaky device that they hide under the mattress, right? And then they want to be, you know what I'm saying, extra, with your husband when he come home. You Jake, you want to try new things and get new devices and do your woman any kind of way, man. Man, it's immoral, man. It's wicked. That's not walking in the right type of spirit. That's walking in the spirit of the flesh. That's walking in the spirit of lust. That's not the right spirit to be walking in. It say you gotta walk in the spirit, right? And if you walk in the spirit, you won't fulfill the lust of the flesh. It said, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh," right? So when you walking in the spirit, right, following the examples of Yahushua and our righteous forefathers and foremothers, right, trying to do your best to do righteous acts and righteous deeds, right? That spirit is going to go against that flesh. It's going to be contrary to that, right? It says, but it says, hey, if you walk in the flesh, it's going to be contrary towards your spirit, right? You're gonna want to keep daggone watching these things. You're not gonna want to put this stuff away. Instead, you're gonna try to find things and find ways to justify yourself in doing it, so you don't feel so bad afterwards. And that's an off spirit to be moving in, right? It said, "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would." Right? You said you cannot do the things that ye would, because if you're following the spirit, guess what? If you're following the spirit, guess what? You're not going to do the things that your flesh would do. But if you're following the flesh, right, you're not going to do the things that the spirit would do. It's oil and water. You can't mix sexual immorality and doing things like watching porn and doing masturbation if you love the Most High. That's not the spirit of the Lord. That's the spirit of this world, and that's the spirit of the flesh, and it's going to get you destroyed. Let me get this other precept. Colossians chapter 3. Let's get to the point. It says, mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth, fornication, uncleanness, inordinate affection, evil concupiscence, and covetousness, which is idolatry, bro. Aquatia. It's idolatry. Because people be addicts for it. Addicts for porn, addicts for sex, addicts for daggone cigarettes. You're an addict for weed. You're an addict for drugs. You're an addict, right? You're an addict. You can't stop. You won't stop. You don't want to. That's idolatry. That's just plainly put. You gotta mortify your members. You gotta cut it out. You gotta cut it off. Cut off the masturbation. Cut off the pornography, right? Because that's an inordinate affection. It's not in the order of the Lord. It's not in the ordinances of the Most High for a man and a woman to watch this stuff. For a man to watch another man and get it on with his wife. For a woman to watch another woman and get it on with her husband. It's wicked. And it leads to idolatry. It links to idolatry because it's an addiction. And anything that you put over the Most High, because you get that spirit of shame. The Lord put that spirit of shame and jealousy upon you, right? When you put that, and you make you feel bad, right after you get it done. Now you want to put the phone down. Now you want to sit here and put your hand on your head. Now you want to put your hand on your head like, man, I shouldn't have did it. Well, yeah, you're right. But now the deed is done. Now you need to repent and not do it again. Right? Got a few points. Right? So, masturbation equals giving into lust, uncleanness, and it's an inordinate infection, like the scripture just said. So this is the dangers of pornography, right? The dangers of pornography. It leads to ruin. It ruins marriages, right? It destroys intimacy, and it increases idolatry, right? Hey, watching porn, ruin your marriage. It can ruin your marriage, man. Right? You lay with your wife, and then, y'all do what y'all do, and then she go to sleep, and then, you go in the bathroom or in the shower or down in the basement in the man cave, and you go to town. And then your wife get that spirit of jealousy on her. And she get up because she got that spirit like, there's something going on. And she go downstairs, she wake up, you're not in the bed. All right, she hear you shuffling around downstairs, doing stuff. She come downstairs and she catch you going to town on yourself, man. How you think that's gonna that could ruin your marriage, man? What, I'm not enough? Right? Now, you're on the other side. Yeah, you're real. Right? She doing madness. Right? It ruins it destroys the intimacy. It destroys intimacy, man. It destroys, right? You know what I'm saying? The pleasure of it with your woman or with your man, right? But it also increases adultery, because now you're looking for something that you saw on that website. It's somebody outside of your woman or outside of your husband, right? And it also leads to higher tolerance for abnormal and aggressive sexual behavior, man. These fetishes. Now you want to go and get these devices, you know what I'm saying? These silicone devices, 8 foot and inches and, and daggone ecstasy and Viagra's and the chews and all this other stuff, man. You want to go and start trying things. You want to go start swinging. You want to start, this and that, and you want to, bring a dog with it. And it's madness, man. It started to bring up the abnormal and aggressive sexual behavior, man. Now you want your wife wants you to daggone choke her real hard, and grab the belt and wrap it around her neck and slap her, you know what I'm saying? Hey, while it's going down, man. And it's kind of throwing you off. It's abnormal, man. And it opens doors for sexual demons through your imagination and your nighttime lust. Now you having dreams about, doing things, right? And it's an addiction, like drugs. You know what I'm saying? Hey, the high never satisfies. That's why you're always gonna need more and more and more and more and more, right? It's never gonna stop. It's gonna increase. It's gonna be like a drug, man. You're gonna be seeking the next high, right? But hey, this is Yahweh's purpose for sex, right? Versus Satan's, right? We'll go to the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6. As a matter of fact, let's go to Genesis. Let's see. We'll go to Genesis 1. And I believe... Let's go to 1. Nah, here it go. This is what Most High's purpose for it. It's the book of 1 Corinthians. It's the book of Genesis, chapter 1, and verse number 22. It says, and God blessed them, saying, be fruitful and multiply. And hold up, no, that's not what I want. Here you go. This is what I want right here. And God blessed them. So it says, Genesis chapter 1 and verse 27. Damn, mosquitoes. It says, so God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing. Right? So, he said that the Most High God created, you know what I'm saying, a man and woman, to be fruitful and multiply. Not to take your seed and spill it and waste it on the floor, man. Or waste it into a rag, man. Or waste it onto the daggone ground. Or waste it in the daggone dealing with and fornicating, man. Right? He said he designed sex to be pure, to be holy, and within marriage between one man, between one woman. It was a gift for love, man. And intimacy and fruitfulness, man. That's what sex was for, man. Right? Like it said right here. It says, you get it right here. In Genesis chapter 2, and Adam said, This is now bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. She shall be called woman, because she was taken out of man. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. And they, Salakia, and they were both naked, the man and his wife, and were not ashamed. That's a lot of damn mosquitoes over here. They just swarm. Salakia. Right? So that's what it was for. To be fruitful. Right? For man and woman to be together. To consummate a marriage. Right? You know what I'm saying? To have children. To bring forth seed. Right? That's what it was for. That's what it's about. Not to be out here, doing God knows what. Right? With this woman and that man and that man, and you know what I'm saying? You got a husband and y'all swing over here and you deal with that woman's husband and you deal with that man's. That's madness. It's abnormal. It's not normal. It's obscene and it's absurd and it's wicked in the eyes of the Lord, and it's going to get you killed. Right? Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians. The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6. We'll go to verse number 15, straight to the point. It says this is the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 6 and verse number 15. It says, know ye not that your bodies are the members of Hamashiach? Shall I then take the members of Hamashiach and make them to be members of an harlot? God forbid. What know? It said, what know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh. Right? So look, this is what Satan does. Satan corrupts, right, sex through lust, fornication, masturbation, to enslave, men and women, man. Right? Let me get a few precepts showing you how you can overcome it. Step 1, right? I'm gonna go to 1 John chapter 1 and verse 9 again. It's the book of 1 John chapter 1 and verse 9. That's what you gotta do. Right? Confess. It's like if we confess our sins, he is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness. Right? So if we say that we have not sinned, we make him a liar, and his word is not in us. Right? So every man, every woman, you know what I'm saying, they may have done a thing like this before, but you know what I'm saying, you gotta confess. Right? Repent. This is the first step is to getting over this and overcoming this porn and masturbation spirit, right? This lust spirit that's out here, man. Repent, right? And confess to Yahweh and turn away from it. Ask the Most High to clean you and renew your mind, man. That's what you gotta do, man. You gotta repent, right? And get another precept. Step number 2, man. Book of Philippians, man. Salakia. The book of Philippians chapter 4. Straight to the point in verse number 8. Right? You gotta renew your mind, man. It's the book of Philippians chapter 4 and verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. Right? You gotta renew your mind. Right? Replace your lustful thoughts with the word of the Most High and prayer and fasting and have righteous meditation, man. Right? Don't fall in, don't meditate on things of the world and wickedness and lust and lasciviousness and money and women and men and all the fancy cars and all the success. It's not gonna get you nowhere, man. It's gonna lead you into doing things that you ought not to be doing, man. It's gonna lead you into things, right? Hey, like the things of this world, man. Right? And when it leads you to that, guess what's gonna happen, man? Right? You'll say, hey, you're gonna fall into death, man. You're gonna fall into sin. You're gonna fall into wickedness. And guess what? The Lord, he's gonna be swift when it concerns his judgment, man. He's not slack, right? You know what I'm saying? So think on it, renew your mind. Like it said right here. Let me get this other precept. The book of Romans. Keep scrolling all the way down. Romans chapter 12. And verse number 2, the classic. And it reads. It says, be ye not, it's like it, be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind, that ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God, man. Right? So you gotta have your mind renewed. Replace your lustful thoughts. Replace the daggone wickedness, with righteousness, man. Replace your wicked thoughts and lustful thoughts, with righteous meditation, man. Right? Get another precept. And this step 3, man. Cause you gotta do this, and it's the classic. Gotta understand what type of time we in, man. Book of Ephesians, chapter 6, and verse number 11, and it reads, "Put on the whole armor of God." Right? It said, "Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil." Right? For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of darkness of this world, right? Against spiritual wickedness in high places, man. Right? And the people that are in the rulers of this world, right? That porn world is chiefly Amalek, man, the so-called Jewish man. Cause they freaks, man. A lot of these dudes, man, these Jewish men, right? These are the guys that run these pornography sites in the dark. These are the rulers of darkness, man. These higher ups, man, that push these agendas, that approve these websites, that snatching men and women up off the streets and making them slaves of sex, man. Right? How you think they got all of these daggone websites, man, where all of this stuff is happening on there, man? Right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, because guess what? The rulers of darkness, man. Hey, they pushing this thing out here, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? These principalities are out here, man. Right? It's a spiritual warfare, man. And the more and more people, more and more you Israelites, right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans that fall into this thing, right? The more and longer we're going to be trapped. The more and more we're going to be enslaved. Don't become a slave to your lust. It's a spiritual battle, right? You got to gird up your mind, right? You got to put on your spiritual armor, right? And walk in that spirit and walk in the spirit daily, right? Walk in the spirit daily. And that's step 3 to it, man. But it's another step to it, man, right? Step 4. Right? Yeah, you got to, step 4. I'm gonna just go to this in the book of Psalms. Salakia. Psalms chapter 103. That's not what I want. There you go. The book of Psalms, chapter 101, and verse number 3, and it reads, "I will set no wicked thing before mine eyes. I hate the work of them that turn aside. It shall not cleave to me." Right? So think about this. Guard your eyes, kings. Guard your eyes, princesses of Israel. You know what I'm saying? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, especially the youth, right? Guard your eyes. Cut off access to pornographic material, whether it be on your phone, whether it be apps, or your secret habits, man. And focus on Yahweh Shai. Seek satisfaction in Yahweh Shai. Not lust. And grow spiritually by feeding the spirit and not the flesh. But Lord willing, this was edifying, giving all honor and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, and we do so in the name of His beloved Son, Yahweh Shai, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, our desire. You know what I'm saying? Y'all take this and y'all be edified and y'all learn, right? Come out of that pornography, right? Come out of that. Don't defile your eyes, because it's gonna, because porn, it will destroy your soul. Shalom.